When was the last time a comic book from DC or Marvel excited you, like drew you in? Was it maybe the first time you read the Dark Phoenix saga? Or was it the Crisis on Infinite Earths? Kingdom Come, maybe? The first time you read The Red Hood? Maybe it was the night Gwen Stacy died. All of these stories were great, and I bet that's why most of you got into comic books was from one of those stories. But all of those stories have one thing in common. They're very old. Like, very, very old. Like, most of those came out 20 plus years ago. And that's kind of something I want to cover today. DC and Marvel have been creatively bankrupt for a very long time. Every movie you watch, every cartoon they do is a repeat of a successful comic book from 20 years ago. And you see it with the Marvel universe more than the DC one because they've been more active in the movie sphere. Now that they're running out of stories to tell, it's plummeting. I mean, think of it. Look at all the reviews and the ratings for these Marvel shows these days. It's awful. And the same thing is happening to DC on the TV series side, although for slightly different reasons. It helps to actually make a good show from the start, but that's getting off topic ish. I mean, when you think about it, Spider Man Far From Home and the new Flash movie are the same movie. And it's like the sixth time they've done this Flash story. Now, if we get out of the comic book world for a moment, sorry, the TV world, and look at the comic book world for a moment, the most exciting thing Marvel is doing right now is what if? What if? What if Iron Man was black? And what if Captain America had tits? The problem is the answer shouldn't change because these characters aren't based on skin or gender. They're based on their values. So a black Iron Man or a Captain America with tits has the exact same values as the normal Captain America or Iron Man and would do the same thing and save the day and fight the bad guys because that is what superheroes are and that is what their values are. And the What If comic series isn't even a new idea. It's an old idea that they're repurposing and doing worse, just like they're doing with the movies. They used to do interesting sort of wacky things in the What Ifs. There was some what if Aunt May was Spider-Man, and they had old Aunt May in a Spider-Man, like droopy, loose Spider-Man outfit. And these were funny things that you're like, haha, that's great. And you read them because of that, because it was actually creating a change and changing the characters. But now Marvel think they can just grab a different 2B pencil and scribble over Iron Man or Captain America, and you'll watch it and read it. And then on the other side, you've got DC. Now, the most interesting thing DC have done in a while was re-release a movie that they already released in the Justice League. And look, I know they are two very different movies, and Snyder's movie is obviously superior. However, that's the only headlining thing they've done other than make Superman's son gay and make Robin gay and make Green Lantern gay again. And make everyone gay. Like, they have one trick. They're like, hey, do you think Robin would be different if he put his penis in a man instead of a woman? Ooh, we should write that down. Everybody get your pencils. Now, who else's penis can we put in a butt? Oh, yeah. That that's their logic. They're like, if we take these willies and we put them in some bum bums, right? You're going to want to read these stories. The it's so dumb. It's so dumb. The last question I have as a comic book reader when I'm reading a comic book about a superhero who's fighting superpowered villains and aliens and robots is, what if he's gonna go home and sleep with a man or a woman when he's done with this? Who's he tipping at the strip club? Like, I don't. They they have the power and the creative minds to write great stories. And instead, they're sitting around a boardroom debating over who's going to sleep with a man next. Oh, God. What am I talking about? Oh, alright. Serious face. So then you look at what Marvel are doing now, and I made a video on this already, but like, Marvel are like, alright, well, you didn't care that we made Iron Man black or put tits on Captain America. So we're going to give you X-Men again. But you know what they're going to do? For one, it's not a new X-Men show. They're just going to rehash the 90s X-Men show. Hence why they're redoing X-Men again. Because they don't have any better ideas. So you're going to get gay Wolverine. Wolverine puts his bum in a man's crutch. Write that down. I don't understand why they think anyone wants this. You know, some of my favorite superheroes aren't the same gender as me. Some of them are aliens, right? Like, it makes no sense. I'm not reading, like, a Black Canary comic because she's got boobs or sleeps with men. I read a Black Canary, well, I don't because they're all terrible, but I would like to read a Black Canary comic because she's doing some, you know, John Wick martial arts revenge stuff maybe, or, you know, like using the skills and morals that she has to make the world a better place. That's what I want to see. I don't care who these characters are sleeping with, and I don't think anyone does. But it's the only thing that Marvel and DC can think of right now. And it sucks. Because the people who lose out are us, the audience. Because Marvel and DC don't lose money if we stop reading and watching. They make money through ESGs, which are basically, and look, I've probably got this wrong, but Google it. But smooth brain version here. It's basically a grant the government gives you if you're a corporation and you promote their woke ideology. So if you put a willy in a bum, and even better, if you put a willy in a brown bum or a yellow bum, or no, a brown bum. Yellow bums are white bums in these people's eyes. But if you put a willy in a bum, profit from the government, right? So they don't care because that 25 cents or $1.50 or $2.50, whatever comics cost nowadays, they don't care about that. The government's giving them hundreds of thousands to brainwash children into these ideologies. So it's more monies and more profits for them. So they're willing to sacrifice their characters and ruin everything that they built for the last 50, 60, 70 years because the government's giving them monies. So they'll put the willy in the bum for the money. Oh, God. So we need comic book fans to stop buying into this. And look, you can say, oh, I'm not a comic book fan, comic books suck. But you buy the movie tickets and you watch them on Netflix, right? And what we need to do is we need the people to stand up and go, I am not going to support this. And I'm going to take my money and give it to these independent creators who are making the superheroes that I want to read and who don't care about where the willies go, right? And look, just to be fair, you can bump clams as well. I don't care, okay? You can mash them, create pearls, do what you do. But we need to take our money and give it to these smaller independent creators so they can create new comics and new worlds and eventually get movies and push back against this government funded crap that we're reading and watching and being spoon fed that's brainwashing our kids. So we, and not even for us, it's so we can give these to our future children and their children, and they can grow up with the proper values that attract, like that Superman taught, you know, and they can overcome the obstacles like Barbara Gordon did. You know, that's what we need. We don't need our children thinking about where they're going to put their willies. Okay, they'll figure that out on their own. But that is what we need to do so that these independent creators can grow and form their own comic book publishers, and the smaller publishers can grow, and we can build with good moral foundations a future for these characters and for our children to grow up with the right influences and not this crap that they're being spoon-fed. That is what we need to do. It's bigger than me or you or the guy next door or, you know, that person walking down the street in an Avengers t-shirt. You know, that is what we need to do.